for our next slide. Okay. So many of you have been asking, if you have picked in person, what is the start time? Our start time is 8:30 a.m. The dismissal time begins at 1:15 to 1:30 because of the number of students returning to in person. We have to do a staggered dismissal from 1:15 to 1:30 to adhere to the safety and health guidelines. So we do have what we call our in-person hybrid days, cohort A, Monday and Tuesday, and we have our cohort B, Thursday and Friday, which in my emails to some of the parents, I put down as group A and group B. So they mean the same, okay? Now, here, for those of us who have children in kindergarten, this is the kindergarten schedule. The kindergartners will begin at 7:55 to 8:25 for distance learning, okay? So the blue represents distance learning. So if you look at the right side, we have a color coordinated rubric. So the pink is in person, distance learning in blue. Wednesday distance learning is in violet. Student recess, orange. Student lunch is in red, or I don't know what the rose. And the dismissal in blue, aqua blue, okay? So for our kindergartners, distance learning begins at 7:55 to 8:25. And then distance learning will stop and it will continue. If you follow the blue, at 1:45 and it ends at 3:15. Then from 8:25 to 8:30, which is in green, that is a transition period for the teachers, okay? Transition period because the teachers may need to use the restrooms, may need to go from A, which is from their classroom.
Rosie, you're on mute.
Oh my God, all this time I've been mute to nobody. Thank you, Vanessa. And I did all that.
It was just for a second. It was just for a few seconds.
Oh, okay. I don't know what happened. Somebody must have mute me, but by accident, I hope, or that I'm talking too loud. Okay. So just for a second, Vanessa. Okay. So I'm going to go back to the color green for transition then. So for transition from 8:25 to 8:30, okay, that time is for our teachers to move from their classroom to down to the yard to pick up students, or for our teachers to use the restrooms, or for whatever reason, they need that 5-minute transition, okay? Then if you follow the pink, then if your child is in either cohort A or cohort B, then in-person begins at 8:30. And if you follow the pink, it goes all the way up to 1:15. And in between the pink, you see the orange, that's recess. And then in between the pink again, after recess, we have our lunch. Okay. Josh, can you go on to the next slide? And for kindergartners, we are beginning this schedule next Monday. This is first grade, okay? So if you have children in the first grade, this is what it looks like. It's very similar to the kindergarten schedule. Again, our rubric is on the right. And I noticed that Josh have put down the distance learning. Okay, now connecting to the dismissal. And the reason is that right after that, the distance learning begins at 1:45. So the teachers have that 15 minutes for transition from 1:30 to 1:45. If you have some questions, please type them onto the chat. Okay, so that's this is the second grade schedule. Very similar, same thing. On the right side, we have the color rubric. The only difference between kindergarten first and second will be the lunch period and the lunch period and the recess. Then the following week, beginning on the week of April the 19th, we begin our third grade, fourth and fifth. So this is the third grade schedule. Again, very similar. The only difference again is the recess and the lunch. Okay. This is our fourth grade schedule. The fourth grade is slightly different for distance learning. It will begin 10 minutes earlier for the fourth grade. So the fourth grade teachers will be doing distance learning for students who have chosen to stay in remote or distance learning. So the fourth grade distance learning will begin at 7:45. So fourth graders, if you are here, you got to get up, okay? And parents who are, if you're listening and you are distance learning, you got to get them up, okay? 7:45 to 8:25, I mean 8:15, excuse me. 7:45 to 8:15, following the blue for distance learning, 1:45 to 3:15. Transition, then in-person begins at 8:30. So for K through fifth grade, in-person is across the board is standard, 8:30 to 1:15, with the 15 minutes of staggered dismissal to 1:30. Okay. Now we have our special education program for those of us who have children in our classroom A and classroom B.
Rosa?
Yes?
Rosa, you went very fast. I think you flashed a fifth grade schedule. Can you?
Okay, sure. Joshua, sorry, can we go back to our fifth grade schedule?
And I'd like to note, Rosa, that the slides will be shared in PDF form following the meeting, so everyone will have access to this to look at in more detail.
Thank you, Joshua. Okay, so here's our fifth grade, identical to our fourth grade. So fourth and fifth are on the same schedule. However, their lunch schedule is different. Okay, so moving back to our special education programs. So we have two classrooms. Both of the special education classrooms are special day classes, and they are in the yard. They begin at 8:30. However, their end time is till 2:30. That's because of the transportation. And their in-person days is Monday to Friday. Okay. So this is our special education classroom A and classroom B schedule. So they also begin, our special day programs also begin at 8:30. That's their lunch schedule currently, and they are dismissed at 2:30. So now I'm moving into the arrival and screening. Okay, so arrive and screening at school between 8:15 and 8:30, no later than 8:45. Our SFUSD special education buses will drop off at 8:30 in the small gate. I'll go over the entrances and the exits later. Earlier, I did say to one parent that both mom and dad can, come, or both parents can be there, but due to the guidelines and the largeness, I'm asking that one adult be with the student, be with your child. Okay, so if you have twins, which we have many twins families, one per family, okay, or one adult per family. Special education classrooms and K through second grade lineup will be on the 22nd Avenue, which is our yard side. And the 3rd through 5th grade lineup will be on the 23rd Avenue side. So, I'll give you 10 seconds to kind of read. Okay. When we say drop off location, I would like you to drop off in terms of walking. I know it's hard because we're not asking you to, we're hoping that you will not double park, right? Because it's going to be hard. I'm working with our with our what we call patrol officers to try to make sure that our parents are not double parking, especially in our neighbor's driveway. So for K12, the lineup again is on the yard side, and we would like you to line up toward Clement Street. And they will be socially distanced. There will be socially distanced markers. Again, the week after, the drop-off location for 3rd through 5th graders will be on 23rd Avenue, school side. Okay, Joshua? So here is a nice photo. I want to thank Ms. Mia for doing this. So for kindergarten, large gate. For our 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, and 4th, and 5th grade parents, you're familiar with the large gate. For our kindergartners, families, the large gate, and then we have a small gate, and the small gate is for the entrance and dismissal for our special education classrooms. Arriving 1 week later will be the 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. Those are the specific classrooms that we have designated in the what we call the bike rack area, formerly called the alcove area, okay? And then on the lower left hand, we have the main door. The main door, again, for designated 3rd grade classrooms and our 5th grade, okay?
You're muted again.
I know, at this time I did it on purpose because I told my husband to answer his phone. Okay, so our dismissal will be the same. K through 2nd, the yard gate, the large gate. Dismissal for 3rd through 5th will be on 23rd Avenue. Dismissal for our special education programs, classrooms A and B, on 22nd. Okay. Okay, dismissal and going home. So dismiss from school is between 1:15 and 1:30. Please do not go inside the school. We're not letting any parent go inside the school. The staff will escort your student out. So we have a great system of the walkie-talkie. Again, we're asking that one adult per family, and we're asking now the parents to kind of line up. And the 4th bullet, the 4th black dot, 22nd Avenue for SDC and K through 2nd grade. So we're doing our staggered dismissal for kindergarten. They will be dismissed at 1:15. So parents who are listening who are attending, please know that your kindergartners will be dismissed at 1:15. First grade will be dismissed at 1:20. Second grade will be 1:25, and our special education program will be dismissed at 2:30. So I am asking the first and second grade families that if you come early, your child will not be ready until 1:20. So same thing with the kindergartners. If you're lining up, now if you would like to pick up your children early, I would like you to please call the office so that we can have your children ready for you. But you do have to ring the door and come and pick them up, because Michelle and I, we won't be able to escort your children. Okay? I would have to ask a designated adult staff person to bring the child down. Okay. Okay, so this is our dismissal for our 3rd to 5th graders. Same. Staggered dismissal on 23rd. So we are doing simultaneous dismissal, one on 22nd Avenue and one on 23rd Avenue. Okay. So once again, this is the picture of our dismissal. Very similar to the intake or to arrival. So we will be dismissing our kindergarten first. Oh, Joshua, can you go back very quickly? Yeah. So if you look at, we will be dismissing our kindergarten first and second from the large gate. Parents will not be coming into the gate, okay? Your child will be coming to you at the gate. Okay. Thank you. Okay, thanks, Josh. So now we have a word from our transportation supervisor, okay, Archie Fokin, Mr. Archie Fokin. So go ahead, Joshua.
Hello, I'm Archie Fokin, Executive Director of the Transportation Department at SFUSD. Are you ready to ride the school bus again? In this video, I will share how you can ride the school bus safely. Before riding the bus, please do a health screening at home. You should have received instructions on how to do that in your registration packet. Before you get on the bus, wash your hands or use hand sanitizer. You must wear a face mask while on the bus. If you forget your mask, the bus driver will give you one. While waiting for the bus, stay at least 6 feet apart. The bus driver will load the bus from the back to the front and unload the bus from the front to the back. This way, you don't have to walk past any other students. You'll be asked to sit next to the window and to sit alone. If your siblings are riding with you, you can sit together. Try to sit in the same seat every time. Windows will be open to promote air circulation as weather and safety permits. Remember to dress comfortably for the weather. If your child has an IEP, your case manager will forward any special accommodations to us, and we will instruct the drivers. If you have questions, please contact your case manager. For more information, see Students in the Special Day Classes video. I hope that I've answered your questions about riding the school bus. We look forward to seeing you. For more information, please visit our website at sfusd.edu/return safely or call 415-340-1716.
That was a nice video. Okay, so we now come back to our classrooms. So our classrooms are set up to keep everyone safe. So desks will be spaced safely apart and they will all face the same direction. Students will sit at the same desks each day. Okay, students will limit sharing of instructional materials. In areas where students gather or wait in line, spots will be marked every 4 to 6 feet. However, the teacher to student desk will be 6 feet apart. So Joshua, you'd like to play some of you have seen this, but we're playing it again. Thank you, Joshua.
Hi, Miss Fong.
So here are some still photos of the classrooms. And I have to commend the teachers. They did a great job. I kind of slightly glanced at one of the chats that popped up. We have some of the classrooms have been reconfigured from 6 to 4 feet, especially the smaller classrooms. I mean, the larger size classrooms. Go ahead, Joshua. Okay, so here are some of the things that have been already cautioned off, as you can see. That we are not to the CDC guidelines and health and safety. The drinking fountains have been cautioned off. We do, however, in the classroom still have the hand washing faucet still available for us. We do have hand sanitizer. And we also have a water refill station down in our lobby. So here are some of the desk and instructional materials examples. Go ahead, Joshua. Okay. So some of you have been asking about the eating meals. So the schools will provide free lunch and snacks daily for everyone, okay? Students may bring food from home, but cannot share it. School lunch and snacks will be delivered directly to each classroom via mobile serving carts, which you can see on the left side of the screen. Students will eat in their classrooms. Hand-operated water fountains will be disabled, as you saw earlier in the photo. Students are asked to bring a water bottle to school and may refill at our water station. Eating and drinking is the only time students can remove their masks. When not wearing a mask, students need to place their face masks on a clean paper towel or in their pocket. So that was made very clear, okay? And so students must stay in their stable group. within their own group A or cohort A, cohort B, or group B. Same. If you would like more information to see the menu, visit sfusd.edu/school food. Okay, so on the left, you can see a photo of how the food will be delivered. Now recess, Alamo, at Alamo, we will do our best to have recess outside whenever possible. And the teachers we have developed a sign up, what you call schedule for every classroom to be outside. Now at Alamo, as you know, we only have 1 yard. It's large, but it's really not that large, okay? If we cannot be outside, recess will be held indoors, but cannot include physical activities, right? Face masks must be worn during recess. Students must stay in, again, their groups or cohorts. Recess will go out by grade levels. Each class will be assigned to their space in the yard. So here are some of the pictures. And children, our students, you know, maybe if you are here, parents, you can ask, especially the first, second, third, fourth, and fifth grade parents, you can ask your children, because prior to shelter in place, our schoolyard was divided as what we call quadrant 1, our garden area, and then our basketball court area. And then go ahead, Joshua. Then we also have quadrant 3, area 3, our kickball area. And then we have our 4th quadrant, which is the 4 square area. And then I believe we have 2 more. We have our play structure, and we also have our football court. And actually looking at the map, our yard is big, but when you have over 200 children or over 400 is not really that big, that large. Here is what our restrooms look like inside. So inside, the CDC guidelines, the stalls have been blocked off, one of them, so is every other. Okay. So the hand washing part, okay, meaning every other sink has been blocked off to ensure social distancing. Okay. These are the boys outside, and previously it was the girls' bathroom. Okay, moving rather quickly. Okay, so Joshua, is this slide number 41? So we're going to now talk about the required forms, because we've been getting quite a bit of questions about that too.
Before your child can return to in-person school, there are a few forms that must be completed and returned. 1. The risk acknowledgement. This is what the form looks like for pre-kindergarten students, and this is what it looks like for students in grades TK through 12. 2. Your emergency card. 3. Your tuberculosis clearance and a record of required immunizations. 4. Students in TK, kindergarten, and first grade must also complete a physical exam. 5. For students in specialty classes, your prior written notice. These forms can be found in your Return to In-Person placement packet. You may complete them on Parent View or bring them to school with you on the first day. For more information, visit our website at sfusd.edu/return-safely or call 415-340-1716.
Thank you, Joshua. Okay. So now we come to our Alamo student emergency card. And for here, I'm going to ask our school secretary, Shelley.
Yes, ma'am. Hi,
You're
everyone.
on.
So Many of you may have filled out the information online about an emergency card, but that information cannot be printed. Please don't ask me about that. So we will send with your child on the first day of school a hard copy, heavy paper card form for you to fill out and return the second day of school. We keep copies of that in all our emergency backpacks, in our emergency shed, and Mrs. Fang and Miss Vida also need copies. So in case we lose internet, we want to still be able to reach out to you if you come to pick up your child, and that's why a hard copy is so important. So every card is two-sided. One side is always English, the other side Spanish or Chinese. You may pick whichever side is best for you to answer. If you have more than 3 people who could be emergency pickups for your child, not you, not your spouse, someone else, you may also attach another sheet of paper and we will keep that on file as well. In the lower half of the card, we ask you to indicate if there are any health conditions. You can see the red arrow even if you can't read the details. So if your child should have allergies, if your child should have asthma, you should be able to mark that right there so we are aware. Right below that, if you have any other children who are in SFUSD, whether in a TK, a pre-K, a high school, or a middle school, or here at Alamo, please list those children too. And then last at the bottom, we need you to date and sign the card. It's pretty straightforward. This year's cards will be pale yellow, and you'll find them in the backpacks of your children when you pick them up. So thank you for that. More. So
That's
additionally, I can do it. We also have forms which you may have already filled out, but you might not have, and they're found on these two, you can see captioned district websites, and you can, by clicking on that medication form or that emergency care plan, pick the forms that you need. And they're PDFs, which means you can't, they have to be printed out and then you fill them out. They all have sections for your pediatrician or your health clinic worker to fill out. It's not just you filling out the medical form. So even if your child takes over-the-counter Benadryl and it has to be brought to school, we need to have a medical form for that just as much as if it's for an EpiPen or if it's for albuterol or any other medication. All the medications should come to school in a gallon Ziploc bag in the original packaging, which shows the child's prescription, as well as this form. We will keep everything safe and locked up unless it needs to be used at any time, and we return the medication to you in the last 2-3 days of school. And if you have any questions about that, I'll be happy to answer them even tomorrow when I'm at work. Thank you.
Okay, so now we come to our COVID-19 testing for students. And I want you to know that this is optional for students. Very different from our staff, which is mandatory. Okay, so student testing is optional. So testing is a very important part of keeping our schools safe. Regular testing helps us to support students and school staff to know when to isolate if they test positive for COVID-19. So the California Department of Public Health and our agreement with our labor partners requires that the district offer testing of students for COVID-19 prior to returning to school and every 2 weeks while attending school in person. Okay. Next slide, Josh. So SFUSD will have student testing sites available at no cost to families at least 1 week before the return to in-person learning. If families would like their students to be tested, families can go to our SFUSD site from 7:30 to 3:30. Our testing dates, April 7th to April 24th. So that begins tomorrow, Monday through Saturday. And here are currently the 4 sites: Everett Middle School, out in the Mission, 450 Church Street, Willie Brown Jr., out on Silver Avenue, 20 Cook Street, which is here in the Richmond, closer to, Aguelo, and 1515 Quintara Street out in the Sunset area. So the technician will administer tests to students. Okay, so we do have on-site testing. However, the mobile van, once in-person starts, we don't have that date yet right now. That's still to be determined. But again, as I said earlier, COVID-19 testing is optional for students. You don't have to, but if you want to, take advantage of those 4 sites right now, and they are free at no cost, okay? Health and safety requirements. It takes a team to keep everyone safe. So this means that our school staff and students must self-screen before coming to school, physical distance at least 4 to 6 feet apart, wear face masks at all times except when eating or drinking, wash or sanitize hands frequently, and stay in your stable group, which is your group A, group B. And schools will ensure outdoor air ventilation and frequent cleaning and disinfecting. So we do have custodians. The good news is we have been given another custodian that will be working right in the middle shift from 10 to 7. I think it's either 10 to 6 or 10 to 7, along with our morning custodian and our night custodian. Okay. Next slide, Josh. Wearing a face covering. So all students must wear a face covering or face mask before getting on the school bus or entering the school. So the school bus, of course, is for our special education programs. And only students with a documented medical reason to not wear a face covering will be exempt. To be exempt, you must provide a doctor's note stating you need to be exempt. So before your child leaves home, please answer these questions. So this is your self-screening at prior to coming to our screening. Has your child tested positive for COVID-19 within the past 10 days? Has your child been in close contact with anyone with COVID-19 within the past 14 days? Is your child feeling ill or had any of the following symptoms within the past 10 days? Fever greater than 100.4 Fahrenheit or 38 Celsius, chills, cough, sore throat, shortness of breath, the headache, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, not being able to taste or smell or saying things taste or smell differently. So these are some of the things that you, as parents, if you can answer. And of course, this is the time where I would like to say that we have 6 to 7 weeks of school, and it's great that we're all back. So we want to remain the best 6 to 7 weeks ever at Alamo. So it does take a village. It does take all of us, Team Alamo, that if your child does experience or, visually you can see any of these symptoms, I'm urging you to please keep your child home, okay? Daily health screening at home. If no to all questions, your child may go to school. If yes to any of these questions, your child must stay home. If you're not sure, call your school and provide the reason for your child's absence, okay? So we have a video for health and safety.
Together, we can return to school safely. When you wake up in the morning, check how you feel and if you're ready to leave home. If you don't feel well, stay home. Feeling good? Let's go! Make sure to wear a mask and that it covers both your mouth and nose. Wearing a mask helps us stop the spread of germs. It's one of the most important things we can do to protect ourselves and the people around us. When you arrive at school, an adult will make sure everyone coming to school feels healthy and ready to start the day. Well, we're so excited to be together again. Keeping space between you and others is important to avoid sharing germs. Just like at home, washing your hands is also important at school. We'll wash our hands or use hand sanitizer when we arrive at school, before and after we eat and play, and after we use the bathroom. We will also stay in our group and use our own school supplies rather than sharing. That way we won't share germs. We'll wear masks all day at school, except when it's time to eat, drink, or take a nap. When our masks are off, it's quiet time. Being quiet when our masks are off will help us stop the spread of germs. We won't share food to avoid sharing germs. After we eat, we'll put our masks back on and wash our hands. If you lose your mask or don't feel well during the school day, let an adult know and they will help you. We can't wait to be together again. Together, we can return to school safely.
That's a nice video. Okay, what happens when someone gets sick? So we broke it down into 4 columns. If your child has any of the following symptoms, similar to the previous slides: fever, chills, cough, sore throat, shortness of breath, the headache, the nausea, the vomiting, the diarrhea, or experiences change in their ability to taste or smell in the past 10 days, then the action is to please contact the school to report, even if symptoms started on a non-school day. Then your child must stay home for 10 days following the symptoms started, unless the student has a doctor's note. Your child can return after 10 days of being symptom-free, no fever in the past 24 hours, and all other symptoms have improved. Again, our instruction available, synchronous distance learning is not available if your child is home due to illness. Your child will be provided asynchronous distance learning work. And so we're pausing just a few more seconds so our translators can catch up with the slide.
So Rosa, just to clarify, if you're quarantining, you can't do distance learning with the teacher. You have to just do independent.
Yeah. Well, it's due to the illness, right? So I'm kind of put that on you, but this is what the instruction available. Okay, translators, are we ready to move on? Yes, Francis, thank you. Okay, thank you, Liliana. Right. So Joshua, the next one, if we can mute ourselves. Hi, parents.
Rosa, you're muted too.
Thank you. All right, here we go. So is this the same slide, Joshua? So we can move on?
No, this is when someone reports symptoms when they're being screened at the school entry as opposed to at the pre-screening at home.
Okay. So this one is when someone gets sick. Is that right? Yeah.
When they're not allowed into the school during the screening at 8:30 a.m. entry.
Yeah. All right. So we will we will contact the parents immediately. So it's very similar. Okay, so if your child reports any of the following symptoms when being health screened at the school entry, same symptoms, then the action is your school will contact you to pick up your child immediately. Then your child must stay home for 10 days following the day the symptoms started, unless the student again has a doctor's note. Your child can return after 10 days of being symptom-free, no fever in the past 24 hours, and all other symptoms have improved. Again, instruction available. Synchronous distance learning is not available if your child is home due to illness. Your child will be provided asynchronous distance learning work. And you can see that we're really trying to keep a safe and healthy environment for all of our students and for all of our staff. Okay. When someone gets sick, so what happens? If a staff member or a student in your child's classroom tests positive for COVID-19, the action taken will, the school will notify you that your child will need to quarantine. If your child is at school, your school will contact you to pick up your child immediately. Your child will need to quarantine at home for 14 days. The SF Department of Public Health may contact your family to provide support. Again, instruction available, synchronous distance learning may be available for your child via their teacher or a substitute. If synchronous distance learning is not available, your child will be provided asynchronous distance learning work. So this is when someone gets sick. If your child tests positive for COVID-19, you must notify your school immediately, even if you find out on a non-school day, such as the Wednesday, the Thursday, or the Friday, or the whichever, or Saturday and Sunday, okay? If your child is at school, contact the school to pick up your child immediately. Your child must, that's our school. Your child must stay home on isolation for 10 days following the day symptoms started or after the date the test was taken. The San Francisco Department of Public Health may contact your family to provide support. Your child can return after 10 days of being symptom-free, no fever in the past 24 hours, and all other symptoms have improved. Instruction, synchronous distance learning is not available if your child is home due to illness. Your child will be provided asynchronous distance learning work. Okay, so Joshua, can you go back to the previous slide? Because I want the translators to have a moment. The translators. Okay.
Principal Fong, can I ask a quick question? If the symptom is mild, why can't the synchronous distance learning is being provided?
Well, it's not mild. Okay, so this one has to do with if your child tests positive for COVID-19.
No. I mean, in general, all your previous slides, the child has a symptom, they should stay home for 10 days. The synchronous distance learning is not available. I don't quite understand.
Okay, so I'm going to ask one of my co-hosts to take note of that question, and then we'll come back to it. Okay.
Mrs. Huang, can we repeat the question, please? This is Mia. Thank you.
Yes. So the parent wanted to know if their child or if a student's symptoms are mild, why can they not be on synchronous distance learning?
I can try to tackle this from a physician standpoint. I believe that the idea is if a child is significantly ill, they are encouraged to rest and not, be doing synchronous learning. But if they are just in quarantine, after a period of travel or someone else in the family tests positive or this kind of thing, or have very mild illness, then then I think generally they've been allowed to do distance learning. So.
Right. So thank you, Eve. So I think your question when you talk about mild, so this is for, like I said earlier, is for your child testing positive. And exactly like what Eve said, is you want your child to rest and not worry about being on distance learning and, you know, getting stressed from work, right? But we will kind of come back to it. Hopefully we were able to answer that question. If not, we'll come back to it later. So Joshua, can we go on? Okay, so at Alamo, we have designated the isolation rooms, okay? So the isolation rooms are the overflow rooms: library, room 210, and room 2121, okay? Ending in-person learning. If your family decides to end in-person learning and move into distance learning for the remainder of the year, you must inform your child's principal, that's me, at least 1 week prior to your child moving to distance learning. Then your child will be provided asynchronous distance learning work until a remote assignment is finalized. So now we have our students receiving special education services. And we have a video.
Hello, I'm Jean Robertson, the Chief of Special Education Services in San Francisco Unified School District. In this video, I will share what in-person learning will look like for students in special day classes. I will also review what to bring to school and tips on preparing your child. We know that each child's needs are unique, so this video won't answer every question. If you need more help, please refer to your prior written notice and contact your case manager. Your school will designate drop-off and pickup locations and times. An assigned school staff member will meet your child at the drop-off location and bring them to the pickup location each day. School staff will walk your child into school. Please do not enter the building. If your child will be riding the school bus, any required accommodations or services will be provided to their bus drivers. For details about your rides, such as pickup and drop-off locations, or if a paraeducator will ride with your child, again, please ask your case manager. For general health and safety rules for riding the bus, check out the video, Riding the Bus Safely. Your child's classroom will be set up for safe social distancing, including where students and teachers will be located. This means that your classroom may look different than what you remember. Classrooms will be prepared with limited necessary supports like visual schedules, sensory items, and communication devices. These items will be cleaned daily. If your child's IEP includes intensive individualized services, these services will be provided in the classroom. Please note that the paraeducator assigned to your child may not be the same staff member that your child typically works with. Additionally, classrooms may change in order to provide the required social distancing. If your child's IEP includes related services like speech and language services or occupational therapy, these services will continue to be available. Refer to your prior written notice for more information. Please bring the following items stored in a plastic bag and labeled with your child's name: your child's medication and health action plans. Also, if your child receives nursing services, your school will contact you with more information. Also, an extra change of clothes and diapers. If you have an SFUSD, augmentative assistive communication device, or assistive technology at home, please bring those back on the first day of school. Prepare your child emotionally and mentally for the first day. Here are some tips. Talk to your child about what they can expect at school, such as their teachers wearing masks, face shields, or other personal protective equipment. Help them practice school behaviors like wearing a mask, sitting in a chair, talking from a safe distance, or raising their hands. Set up a morning routine and practice it before the first day. I hope I have answered some of your questions, and I look forward to having your child in our classrooms. For more information, such as social stories or other help videos, please visit sfusd.edu/return safely or call 415-340-1716.
What to bring and not to bring to school. Another video.
Hi, I'm Kai Osorio and I work for the San Francisco Unified School District. Today, I will show you what to bring to school and what not to bring. Please bring the following items every day. First and foremost, a face mask or a face covering. It is the most important item to bring. Wearing a face mask helps us stop the spread of germs. Even packed an extra, just as backup. Please bring your own water bottle. Your school will have stations for you to refill. And, I love my water bottle. I even added stickers to it. Also, please remember to bring your fully charged SFUSD laptop. If you do not have one, don't worry. Your school will provide one during the school day. Pre-K students do not need to bring their SFUSD laptop. Please remember your Clever badge to log into your apps. And we also ask that you please label all the items with your name with some removable tape, such as blue painter's tape. Now we ask that you please do not bring the following items. Any toys. Toys need to stay home so that we don't spread germs at school. We also ask that you do not bring any food that's shared. Breakfast and lunch will be provided by your school, but you may pack your own food as long as you do not share it with others. We also ask that you leave your personal laptops and other devices at home. SFUSD schools will be providing you with a laptop to use during the school day, so you don't need to bring your personal ones. Wi-Fi hotspots, don't bring those. Your school will have internet access. Pre-K students and students in special day classes may have additional items that they need to bring to school, so please see those videos for more information. And we look forward to having you and your child back in the classroom. For more information, please visit our website at sfusd.edu/return safely or call 415-340-1716. Looking forward to having you back in school. See you there.
Thank you. Josh, I'm going to take a little, maybe a minute to talk about Chromebooks. Okay, so as you heard, Kai said, do not bring your personal laptop or iPads to school. Alamo, we do have Chromebooks for students. Okay, if you do have a SFUSD laptop that you borrowed, please bring that to school, but not your own personal one. Every classroom and the teachers, they have been given at least 5 and could be more laptops for students who may need it or may have forgotten it. Okay, so hopefully all our students will remember to bring their SFUSD laptops. And if you don't have one, you can actually send me an email or come by Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday to pick up or borrow an SFUSD laptop.
Hi, Ms. Fong. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I was wondering if you could help us understand why laptops will be necessary in the classroom for those who are in person.
The teachers may use it in their lessons to get into what they have been doing, maybe for distance learning, certain applications, right? So we're asking the students to bring it in case this teacher will be using the laptops in their lessons. Hopefully that, Zoe, I answer your question. Okay, next. So taking care of your SFUSD device. So students who will bring their SFUSD devices to school each day should make sure their devices are fully charged, clearly labeled with a removable label, such as painter's tape, transported gently in either a backpack or a cushioned bag. And while I'm reading this, I'm going back to the question earlier. Also, some of our enrichments, okay, the enrichment teachers may not be coming back in. So our students would have to do remote enrichment, such as Miss Cat, okay, ceramics, and garden, and drama, and dance, and Miss Perry's, if you are a third, fourth, and fifth grade, you've been taking lessons with our instrumental music teacher. They are doing remotely, and some of our special education providers are also staying remote. So if your child has those services, they would have to, during in person or during their time at Alamo, they would need their laptops. Okay, next slide. Where to get more information. So if you have, well, again, the slide will be on YouTube as well as on our website, but you can take out your camera and take a picture of this, I mean, your cell phone, and take a picture of this. Okay, Joshua, next slide. Now, this is very important, completing your orientation. So final reminder, before April 12th, please complete the required forms such as the emergency card, medication, and health form. Prepare your child, show them the videos and pack, show them how to pack their backpacks. Again, the student emergency card that Shelley reported on earlier. And I guess Joshua is putting all that just to make sure we know. Next card or next slide. This is for our students who have specialized medical support that they need. This is what we call our emergency medication form. You are not done yet, okay? So this is very important. And prior to my message email earlier in the afternoon, I asked that you have your child's ID number ready. And this is the reason why, because we would like you to fill out this form to complete your orientation. So if you have your cell phone again, you can turn on the camera, focus on the QR code, and scan, and something will pop up. You click on that, and it's 3 very short questions. Your child's name, your child's HO number. Joshua, what happened if we cannot find it? So for many of you, you received this email or letter from the Educational Placement Center. On that email or that letter, right there pointed in the red arrow is your child's student ID number. We're going to kind of give you about 2 minutes. If you're, Joshua, can you go back to that QR code? And if you can do that for us, Alamo would greatly appreciate this. Of course, you can also do it later. Or you can go straight to that email address that Joshua is circling in red and do that right now. Get onto another tab and do that form for us.
Alexi, can you quit playing with the annotate, please?
Ah. Uh-oh. Who is Alexi? Oh boy. No.
I think it was Alexa.
Is she an incoming kindergartner? Okay.
Prince Rosafong, question, will there be a Q&A? We want to ask about our first grade schedule.
Yes, there will be after this one.
Okay.
So we got about definitely a Q&A.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So maybe another minute, huh, Joshua and Mia?
About 2 more minutes. If people fill out, we can go to Q&A.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
May, we're trying to fill this out. So maybe Aiden can help you. Saya? Saya? Don't play with the screen.
Hi. Hi, Fong.
Hi, Saya. Aiden. Yeah, that's good.
Rosa, this is Sean. So I'm guessing that there are going to be a number of parents wanting to ask questions, and keeping in mind that there's well over 100 participants. How would you like to proceed?
You're on mute.
Okay, it's 8 o'clock now, so we're ready to go. Okay, so Joshua, are we ready? Okay.
Would you like me to stop the recording now?
Yes, thank you. Thank you for the 270 families that are still here